Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you for joining us today. You can see that we are on ARK, but it's someplace a little bit different. Today we're going to be doing a little tour of our world on the island. And let's see, do I have food? Yes, I do. Do I have water? Yes, I do. Okay, great. So that's one thing I didn't check before getting started today. So this is the world that we originally started on. And we've been on this particular map for quite a while. We do have some stuff that we need to get done. So if you take a look, this is a map of the island that we're on. Right now we're at about 45, 65, somewhere in there. We live right over by the green tower. If any of you have played the game before, you can see that we have some nice ARK art there. That's an early version of our base here. This is a very special dino. Here is something that Dyson painted for me when she was much, much younger than she is today. Yeah, so a nice view out here. You can see that stuff is kind of made of metal and all of that. This is tiny. One of the things that you'll notice, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour like we've been talking about. The Scorched Earth world, that base and most stuff is built out of Adobe, just to keep it consistent with being a desert world. Here we use a lot more metal, wood, and we have all sorts of different kinds of structures that kind of grew up over the time we've been here. So hopefully that's something that's interesting. This is Tiny. He's my shoulder buddy on this world. As you can see, he has like 6,000 health and his melee damage is like 1,000. So the dinosaurs on here, dinos and other creatures that we have, since we've been here a lot longer, they tend to be significantly more powerful. So you can see, looking around, that this is our base, and it's also a very noisy place. As I've said before, I don't know if the last time we played this, if cryo pods were a thing. If they were, we didn't know about them. So literally all the dinos we have are out and running around. Here's Dyson's wolf. And actually in there you can see Dyson is on the ground with her animals. You can see, here's a nice picture of our Labrador, Callie. So she's much more famous than any of the rest of us. And some interesting animals wandering around here, including a Kairuku that happens to be purple. So Butterman, is his little office is over here. And you can see he's having a nap as well. He has a couple of his otters in here. A jerboa that he actually brought from Scorched Earth for us. They don't actually exist on this world, but he brought over a jerboa for each of us, so that was pretty cool. This is my bird. So that's my battle Archie, and he was a... Hello, Neo. He was a wild-caught Archie, so I actually found him out in the wilderness and got him because he was a 120, which is the highest level on this world, and he looked pretty cool. This is one that I bred from his line, and this is my weight Archie. And to give you an idea of the difference, so 5,000 health, which is more than my weight Archie on Scorched Earth. Weight is 3,200, and stamina is 2,300. So this bird can lift just about anything and never gets tired. You can see that we have pteranodons on this world, and this is where we do most of our work here. Industrial furnace, cook stuff over there. We actually have these air conditioners near here because we would be burning up with heat whenever we would be working in this area. We have a lot more in the way of high level blueprints and things like that, right? So for instance, the weapons we have here are significantly stronger than those that we have. You can see this is 511 percent damage and stuff like that. So it's significantly more powerful stuff on this world. And I just need to refresh my memory as to where things go. Resources are not an issue here. We have them around us. I guess the resource that is a bit of an issue the most for us has always been... it always goes back to obsidian, but there's a volcano over here where tons of obsidian comes up. Hey, Prime Star, how you doing? Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Susie, thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, we did have the new intro, and so I did a little bit of music one night to put into there. So that's what you saw there. We just thought that would be fun. Thank you, Prime Star. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Dyson, for the happy birthday messages. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Omar. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you very much. So thanks for hopping on. I think you've heard me say in the past that... Oh, well, here's one of the Quetzals. That's Austin's Quetzal. And whenever we need to go tame something or kill something that's really big and scary, especially tame, that's what we all hop on. And Butterman will help us run around. So I think you guys have heard me say that we had a whole place for taming, and this is where it was. This is where we keep all of the items that we need for taming stuff up. You can see there's a lot more raw meat and stuff in here, and that's because keeping the babies, there's a fertilized spino egg, keeping the babies alive when we were on this world was impossible. And we were talking about kibble. This is what I meant. So this is kibble, ankylo kibble. This is Archaeopteryx kibble. This is Argentavis kibble. This is Baryonyx kibble, and so on. Each of these is from a different type of dino. And so now you saw us do the imprinting on the other world where we just had those 6 types of kibbles. That's the way it used to be. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. I think I also, on one of the Scorched Earth ones, mentioned the only dino that we ever had die of starvation was Pele early on. This is the new Pele. So I think it's actually named Pele. Oh, Ultraviolet. Okay. This was the replacement bird. Let's see. So these are basically our workers over here. You can see that we do have beaver on here. And so I think pretty much all of these were perfect tames. Of course, given my kids' ages, that is Perry. This is Valkyrie, who was a perfect tame Doedicurus for getting stone and everything. And this is Metallica, because heavy metal. And so these are the guys that do most of the work for us. We have a robust program for producing very high level direwolves, and so these guys here are probably twice as powerful as the ones that we have on Scorched Earth. They've gone through a lot of genetic alterations over the years, so you can see 10,000 health and 1248 melee damage. So they're, you know, they're pretty formidable. We do have some turtles. These turtles have been bred for speed. So, you know, if you take a look, you've probably never seen a turtle this fast before. They don't go very quickly backwards, but forwards, they do okay. We have no use for them. We just went through the Pokemon period of, like, wanting one of everything. This is our Utyrannus, Fluffy. This is the cat tree, where we have the Sabertooth. So they're up here, all hanging out. And you'll notice a huge amount of troughs. This base is pretty spread out, and so food for the dinos is a problem. And unlike the other world, these guys eat like you wouldn't believe. I think this guy's name is T'Challa. We found him around the time the Black Panther movie came out, which was an awesome movie. You can see that, once again, we live like right under Green Tower. And so that's one of the towers you go to get into the... yeah, Speedy Turtle, that's right. Thanks, Anne. That's greatly appreciated. It kind of made me want to do music again, you know? So I put that music together in one night, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed doing this for, you know, decades. And I haven't done any recently, so maybe that's something that I'll do moving forward. But the towers, that's where you go to fight the bosses, and there's a little control thing underneath. So being right here, we were able to make a way to get across with our Rex army that you guys will meet shortly. Looking out from the cat tree, you can see that this base is quite a bit bigger than what we had on Scorched Earth. Like I had said, we have big dinos over here, and we'll go by. And one of the things that's kind of funny is you'll notice everything is really blocked in with walls. That's because this area is a disaster. There are tons of alphas and everything. Yeah, we'll do the Darby Topknot makes music channel. I'll have to talk to my production company, which I own, so it's cool. They're usually pretty good to do stuff with, at least for me. Please do more of your music. Thank you, Anne. But big dinos over there. So they're all out there. You can see we have some Brontos. The Giga is over there, Larry. And he was the most disappointing dino ever in the history of mankind. Thanks, Sabrina. I appreciate that. You can see over here we have the original T-Rexes, the mother and father that started the whole line. And we have some Spinos. We have a building over there where a lot of the dinos that we just have because are on top of it, and then a lot of the ones that are the perfect tames, which a perfect tame is when you get, on this world at least, a level 120, and you tame it up at the highest efficiency you can, right? So that would make them be a 179 when they get tamed, and so that's called a perfect tame. You didn't lose any levels taming it. And so they hang out over there. We have an Allosaurus guarding them. This wooden building is where we have the direwolves. So that's the doghouse there. And you'll see a little yellow shed over there. That's where we have a corral for the horses and the ovis, so the sheep and all of that. And you will notice hanging around in certain areas these little groups of raptors and the Dilophosaurs. And those are the guards. So they're set to go after anything that comes through here. We also, as far as protection for the dinos, have this plant you see there hanging out. I'll actually hop down. This plant is set to shoot at stuff that comes within a certain range. And so it kills things that fly over, because we used to have stuff landing in here all the time, and then these guys would get mad and go after it, and we'd have to put everybody back in place. Okay, Susie, I get it. We'll do more music, and you know, maybe I can do a thing on my approach to making music, right? So everything needs to start with a good song at the beginning, right? If you have a crappy song and you do the best production to it in the world, then you still have a crappy song. If you have a great song, you can do, you know, the smallest amount of production work with it, and it's still a great song. So, you know, that's been my approach the whole time. I was in the music industry for quite a while. Down here, we have some of the, I don't want to say less useful, but they are things that we don't really use. They were just picked up at times when we're like, oh, we should probably get a Pachyrhinosaurus, or we should probably get this or that. And so they hang out down there. But they do produce eggs. And so that's where a lot of the kibble came from. We have the bigger flyers over on this platform here. Yes, that is a helipad. Prime Star. And you notice that there are some that aren't here, and that's because they're at other bases that we have around the island. Over here, as Prime Star just pointed out, yes, we have a helipad. This is where we have all the RGs, and the we have a couple more flyers, like some of the guys we just want to store. You know, I have Woodstock, one of my first RGs over there, who is retired now, just living the life, and there's your helipad. And you can see that each of these things grew up over time, right? So it was kind of like we had a small base, then made a bigger base, and made a bigger base, you know, and it's grown over time as we needed more room to put different things. Looking over here, you'll see a castle. That castle is a very special place. That is where the otters live. So, you know, we'll talk a little bit about otters as we go through things today. We learned some details about something that was unfortunate, but, you know, kind of came at the end of a blessing. Butterman and I are kind of mildly obsessed with small-clawed, Asian small-clawed otters, and there are a number of channels on YouTube about them. And so we've been watching them for a long time, and so I'll talk about that a little bit, and that'll get to the second part of this video after the tour, the thing that I wanted to do. Down here, you see there's a little complex with like a little beach house hut thing, and that's where we have some of the smaller guys. Like, you guys heard the story that I threw the monkey out the window, so that was Sock Monkey, so he lives in there. We have some, I believe some compies are in there, so Compsognathus, and we have some dodos in there. These are some of the larger animals that we actually use. So you can see we have a woolly rhino, we have some rexes, and one of which has an Uncle Sam hat, and that's the one that is the current toughest rex that we have, and that position changes as we go through the breeding. Over there we have Butterman's Sarco, the big alligator, crocodile-looking guy. We have his Caprosuchus, and yes, I believe that is the one that ruined the tame on that. Was it a Megatherium? Oh no, the Therizinosaurus that we talked about in a previous one, and we have some Pulmonoscorpius, and there's actually a Titanoboa hanging out over there as well. Yep, and Dyson said, "Rip Gatorface." We do have some gravestones up there, and you know, we'll talk a little bit about those as we go along, because we have lost dinos along the way. This platform here is one of the most recent things, I guess, and so that's where we put some of the dinos that we just needed to clear out because everything was just really clogging the place up. So we have, I'll go over there and show those guys to you. That's where the unicorn is as well, along with the unicorn's bodyguard. And this part here, this purple and cyan and black building that's all metal and glass, that was where we were moving all the characters to. And so, you know, it has living quarters in there for Dyson, for Butterman, for me, Weefy, I guess, the character. And I think we have a diner over there, and we have a lot of the electrical stuff and everything there too. And then over on that side of the fence, we have our taming pen. And then you'll see a copious number of T-Rexes up on top. That's where we keep the Rex army. We do have a couple other bases, like I said, but let's go ahead and run around and go meet some characters. So how's everybody doing tonight? Did everybody enjoy World Otter Day yesterday? Oh, and here we have an egg. And I don't even remember where we put eggs. I think over here maybe. Okay, that's prime meat. You notice we have a lot of biotoxin. Certain things are not as scarce on this world, so you'll notice a big difference there. each of the ARK worlds, you kind of have to play as its own thing. Yeah, here we go. This is where we throw eggs. You'll notice we have a bunch more kibble in here as well. And I was kind of hoping that when they did the update, they would have made it so that they all just collapsed and went into the categories and took the dino name off of them. But they didn't, so we still have a storage issue. Good. It's nice to hear that everybody had a good World Otter Day yesterday. That's good to hear. And I think I will... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take Neo. So, let's fly up here. We'll come over and say hello to the birds first. And, oh, by the way, this is the mohawk we were talking about. So this was the original Weefy look. I just don't have that hair unlocked in Scorched Earth. Once we do, he'll look like this. So, yeah. So let's see, here we have, I think this is Trojan. This was Dyson's bird, very tough. There are a few others. This is Woodstock. I think this was my first RG. And so obviously we've painted a lot of the animals here. Oh yeah, they do have nameplates. Birdface. This is, that's Butterman's bird. And if I remember correctly, that bird is a battle RG. And then Carrier, who's very strong. And yeah, this was Woodstock. And let's see, Trojan. Alexander. Oh yeah, I think he was a fighter as well. And this may be Pele second. Daddy's new bird. Okay. So apparently this is my new bird. But up here, we started a program of breeding RGs. And you can see that we have the same type of egg issues on this world that we do on the other. They don't hatch here by themselves, though. So we have up here different birds that we've tried to... that have been basically raised up as hatchlings, and in an effort to get the most powerful bird we can, and look for mutations. That one with the lime, or the mint green there, that was the very first mutation that we ever had on this world. So that was pretty cool. I forget what the stat mutation was, but the color mutation was pretty cool. We enjoyed that. Over here, this might be my bird. Oh, vacant. So somebody just parked there. That's a vacant lot. Let's see. Yeah, Twister. I think actually that might be Butterman's. You see a lot of these don't have names. There's Pistachio. But we do have Blazer over here, who is fast, but also is a perfect tame, which we don't have that many of on Scorched Earth. We have a lot of them here. The reason being that we've been here longer and had more time to find them. Because it's not just a matter of being able to tame it up. They have to spawn in first, and that's a rare thing. So Speedy here, this is one of the Tapahara. Cool thing about it, I believe he can carry 3 people, and they are very, very fast moving around. So this is where we park these guys. And you'll notice one of the things on this world is there's a lot of effort that's been put into moving dinos out of the way. And that, once again, is because we didn't know what a cryopod was. Oh yeah, the poop sounds here, it's extraordinary because there are so many more dinos in this part. So we'll go back down here for the flyers. This is where Air Taxi is, and I forget this Quetzal's name. It's been so long. Mohawk, because he has a mohawk, as all Quetzals do. And Dyson actually has a Quetzal up on top of the main building there. But there used to be a lot more birds here, and then we made that structure to house them, and we park some of them at other bases as well. So over here to the large creatures, you'll see that we have some Spinosaurus, and the way we did the naming here is it tells you, like, this is 112-167 in those brackets. That means that this was a wild 112 and tamed up as a 167. So that's Sailor, Nessie, Sailface, which makes it obvious that that's Butterman's, and oh yeah, and this is Elsa. I think Dyson named this one here because she was white. And so this one, Elsa, was a 120, so a perfect tame, and she was one of the original parents of that entire line of the Rexes, which, like I said, we'll go show you those in a minute. And here's some more eggs. It's a little bit easier to get them over here. Yeah, the eggs are no joke. Let's see. Scale of 1 to 10, how ottery is everybody feeling today? 10, once ottery, always ottery. Yep, replacement Quetzal, Dyson. Sabrina is an 11, Omar 10, Dyson 10, Susie 100. Yeah, so we have this Rex here, and Beast Mode 2 was one of the first male Rexes that we had, and apparently was a 92 wild tame, and then a 116 T-Wrecker. One of these guys, I think maybe it was Beast Mode 1, actually, was the original Father Rex. And so then we have over here, well, apparently too big for me to get over. We have up here, Butterman's, hello. Other Sarco, this is Babyface. The original Sarco was Gatorface. And we'll tell the story about what happened to Gatorface when we get over to the grave marker. Once again, there are some guys up here, these raptors and these Dilophosaurus. They are here to guard the other guys, because all of these dudes, even though they're really strong, they're set to not attack anything. That's Larry. We don't talk about him. Some of the Diplodocus, their thing is that they can carry tons and tons and tons of people. If you see their saddles, you'll see that they have a lot of different seats on them, so you can fill up the entire bus with people and go. And the other part of them is that they're actually, for their size, really fast. So we have one, the Flash, who is a perfect tame, Little Dipper, Big Dipper. These are both Brontos. Little Man was a perfect tame. I guess we should talk about Larry. He may look like metal, that's just a skin on him. But when we tamed him up, it took forever. We were so disappointed. This is 17,000 health, 90 melee damage. He doesn't do anything. He's absolutely terrible and should be ashamed of himself. That's why we have him back here. He took so many resources to tame up, and we did it, I guess, just after they had done a nerf of the Gigas, because they used to be amazing. But Larry, it's very sad. So, let's see. Hi, Riley. Thanks. Good to see you here. We'll fly on over here. You can see that we have some Therizinosaurus, Slash and Poke. We also have, let me go ahead and park. Oh, there's a Rex. What level are you? We actually don't care about wild Rex anymore, because the breeding program has kind of outdone whatever they would be. Yeah, so I'll show you a little bit about what the Rexes on this world are like in a few minutes. So we have some Stegosaurus over here, Baryonyx, which her name is Betty Onyx. They might be, either they or the direwolves are my favorite dinos to go on, and you'll see why. They're really cool. Here's like backup dinos. Slothface, that's Butterman's. I think you can see the pattern in naming conventions, and I think actually he was really, really powerful. Right. Strong, and Butterman would typically take his guys and make them fast because he'd want to run around super, super fast. Down here, we have some of the other guys. This is not actually a skeleton, that's just a skin on a Carnotaurus. You'll notice that this one, Beth, is a perfect tame. So once again, really, really high stats. We have a perfect tame here, X23. We have a perfect tame here, Cooper. Wilbur is not a perfect tame, but there aren't that many Daedon that we had seen on this world, so he was about the highest we found. And once again, like I said, he's really useful to help us heal the guys when they're out fighting. Scruffy Donna, who's an Iguanodon. I kind of feel like Butterman probably named that one. And then Toenail is here guarding everybody. We just trot outside real quick. Alan, who is I think he's our only Allosaurus. He's pretty tough though. So you can see how all of these guys are out, and we do have a rifle tower there that we use to take pot shots at alphas and stuff that go by. And we actually have a drop here that I'll go check out real quick. So you can see that this world is quite different from what we've been showing on the Scorched Earth server so far. And we probably have something better than that, but I can't prove it right now, so I'll go ahead and pick it up. You have jungle, you have swamp, you have oceans. There is the volcano. There's an island at the north that's just carnivores who are constantly fighting. There's a redwood forest. There is a snow biome over there. So just about anything you can think of. And we built most of this before some of the good changes that have come to the building side of ARK were implemented. So, yeah. In here, this is where we keep all of these guys. Some of these sheep are painted their colors, and some of them, like this one, are naturally that color. I think this one was painted. But we have the sheep in here. We had an incident the last time I was on this where I shot a Bronto who was outside, and we kind of got arced a little bit. It swung its tail and smashed the greenhouse over there and everything. So it swung its tail through the wall, which you're not supposed to be able to do, but it decided to do anyway. And so these guys are all over the place from that. They started running around like crazy horses. But you can see we have a number of horses over here. And this is kind of where everybody goes. I think that's Dyson's horse. I don't remember which one is mine. But most of these are... and there's actually one, Samson. My wife had a horse for a long time named Samson. He was a leopard Appaloosa and was basically like a dog. So these guys hang out here, and I forget which one they follow. They're following one of them around. So if there's one of them, if that one takes off, everything in this pen will take off after it. So that's there. Coming over here, this is where we have our greenhouse and grow all the berries we need and things like that. So kind of like the other, this one is 3 stories. We have a Paraceratherium here named camel face, so I'm pretty sure you know who tamed that one up. Down here, like I said, we have the egg layers, and looks like it's getting dark, so we'll go do an inside tour in just a sec. Right, so this is Warhog. Most people get these guys to help with their fertilizer. If you're Butterman, you get one and you make it super attack powerful and fast, and you go and kill things with it. So this guy, his stats are arranged a little bit differently than most other guys. So lots of movement speed, lots of melee damage, if you see, and very good on health. So it was kind of funny to see Butterman running around on Warhog, attacking stuff and actually having success. We have a couple other Ankies here. Around the top, this is actually where we feed everybody. You'll see that we have some other things. We have Megaloceros, which is basically like a Irish elk. It's like a super caribou. We have a Gallimimus, which is super fast. Another Baryonyx. Bears. Pachyrhinosaurus, like I said. And there's a skin on this one that makes it look like a Styracosaurus, which is a different kind of dino, but still a Ceratopsian. A couple terror birds, which you guys have seen on the other world. And then we have an Oviraptor here, who we have full of stone, so he can't actually move, but he is wandering, and when you have them wander, they increase the egg production, if you see all the egg icons, on anything within range. So, yeah, that's how we get so many eggs, which we needed for those. Once again, this is just another group of the guards that we have. They tend to be some of the first ones that we tamed. Some of the first dinos. My birthday has been great. Thanks, Susie. It's, you know, of course, worked earlier in the day. Had some good meetings, and then hung out with my family a bit, went and got some food, brought it back home, and then, yeah, just hung out, and now I'm here. So I'd say it's been a great birthday. Thank you. Back behind that wall. Let's see, authorized personnel only. So back behind this wall, that's kind of where all of the generator stuff is, and this powers the whole place. So we'll close that up. And this is black on purpose. It makes it kind of disorienting at night. So I guess that's a waiting room or something. This part hadn't been finished. If we go over here, this is where the diner is. And I think there are actually some non-standard food items in here. Yeah, so you're able to make your own recipes. So these guys, Dyson was running the operation here. This is where you cook the stuff and everything. What does this say? Oh, that's just the end of the thing here. Okay, so actually I'm gonna take a look at this real quick. Okay, so that's how we did it. I was wondering how we made this counter, because we're gonna make a diner at the other world as well. And so we have this. If we go upstairs, this is a room. I believe this is this is probably Dyson's, but obviously nothing in it, because this part never actually got finished. And then we have this balcony out here, So that can be set up as presumably a bedroom of some sort. And we'll go back down. Looks like we have some, yeah, we have some stuff clipping through the floor there. Going up here, this is Butterman's place. And so it's has a second floor up here, and then I believe he has a little balcony thing as well out there. And then over here, this is my room, and it is kind of bright in here because of the lights and the fact that it's nighttime, so it'll be easier to see. I know it probably looks kind of weird on the screen. Yeah, and it was chill and perfect. These are some tames. You remember that picture? This is that guy, and I believe this was a natural color, which, you know, finding red colors and all that, it, you know, it's very out of the ordinary. I guess I'll do that. Looks like this guy's probably here as a guard as well. Yeah, it's on neutral, so Buddy will attack anything that attacks anybody. This may have been the most expensive tame ever. This is a Troodon, and these guys are a dino that specializes in taking humans down. So they bite you, your torpor rises, and they knock you out. And then they spend the next half hour biting through your armor, destroying it until they can get to you and then kill you. So once these guys knock you out, it's over. They're super hard to tame. You have to actually feed them tame dinos. I'm not going to tell you how we did it, but we went through the process and tamed up Greedy. He's called Greedy because of the number of high-level dinos he actually took to tame. And, yeah. And you notice his eyes are glowing right now? That's because it's nighttime, and these guys get more powerful at night. He was the second Troodon we tried. The first one was a 120. He was just under that. And I made the mistake of, I'm like, okay, so you have to feed it tame dinos. And so I took one of Butterman's old parasaurs and threw it in there. And I'm like, this thing is going to tear this parasaur apart. The parasaur killed it. I didn't realize that Butterman had pumped those parasaurs up so much. This might have been the first animal I ever tamed on this world, Barky. And you notice that Barky is wearing tube socks. So I used to put tube socks on all my dinos. And so there's that. Up here, I believe we have some more. Right, I was going to put pictures here. I don't know of what. Here's the loo. With a view. So you can see that out there. So over here, make every day count. That's the motivational poster that's on the wall. And I guess I was going to put some paintings in these places as well. But we have places for like books, and then these, I think we're going to have just personal gear and stuff in it. Here's the bed. I don't know why there are two mortar and pestles in here. Maybe just to make it... Oh, maybe feeding bowls is what they're supposed to be. Here is the jerboa that Butterman brought over for me, Dr. Fluff. So he's wearing his nice little hat there. Here are a couple compies. And one had red feathers and the other had blue feathers. So I drew little saddles on them. And I think one of these is really, really tough. Yeah, this was a perfect tame. And so they just hang out here because there's really nothing else you can use them for. Then as we go up, I hope. I think I have to come from this direction. Yep. There's a little balcony that you can go out to, and you can pull your crossbow out and take shots at carnivores. So, yeah, tube sock supremacy. That actually is how Sock Monkey got his name, by the way, is from these socks that he wears. So speaking of which, why don't we run over there real quick, and I'll just jump off. By the way, under here we have a whole complex of things. I'll drink something, I'll eat something before I get in trouble. All of the stuff, so all the wires and everything, are hidden under here. So, you remember the diner? This is the outside of it. So, this is when we started to try to make things look a little bit better and started hiding stuff. Because the building in ARK is interesting, to say the least. It's not easy to make things look very good. Some people do an amazing job with it, but not so much here. Let's see. How many in the chat have actually played ARK? It's a little bit dark here. Here's some of the bigger creatures. Once again, Butterman's Sarco probably has... Yeah. This is definitely a fighting machine here. Here's a frog. He's green, so he's probably named Kermit, I would imagine. A couple Scorpius, and then that's Butterman's Paprosuchus, who is infamous. This is a Titanoboa. And so, let's see, what should we pump on this one? Melee damage. And so this is Copperhead. He was pretty high level, but to get them, you had to feed them fertilized eggs. And it looks like the sun might be coming up sometime soon. Seems to be lightening up just a bit. It's kind of unnerving to see that Thylacileo hanging out up there, looking over at us. This raptor is guarding everybody. If you notice, tons of stuff in the troughs. And then we have this trough, which has 124 Rex eggs in it. With me talking about how much kibble we need and all of that, you would expect that maybe I wouldn't put it in there for this snake to eat. But when you see how many Rexes are up there and what the egg situation is like, you'll understand. This guy does most of our farming for berries and wood and stuff like that. And let me go ahead and park here. I will go drop these eggs off. There we go. And let me just make sure I have all the weapons I need. So, what do I have? I have a long neck, that, and then I have this. Do I have bullets for this? Yes. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go and put that new saddle away. You can see that we do have a lot higher level things in here, including, you know, like super swords and all of that we can make. So that's one of the other differences. And let's see, that is a saber saddle. Yeah, so we don't actually need that one. We have a better one in here already. And let's see, I think we have metal in this one. Yeah, so metal is not an issue at all. It's pretty easy to get on the Scorched Earth world that we have because of where we are, but literally right over this ridge, there are the best metal nodes practically in the game. And so what we do is we get the weight bird. By the way, these are the mother and father birds that we use for breeding because they are super RGs. And then we also get Dyson's Quetzal here, who once again is just wearing a bone costume. They came out in Halloween, I believe. Yes, Dyson. Dyson has, her character is down in one of these rooms. Jonathan, you've played a lot. Yeah, is it mainly on the PvP or on the PvE servers that you've played? And Omar, yeah, it is a lot of fun. And it's designed to be a hard game, but it's... when you start, you're going to die, but in the best way possible, right? It's not a frustrating game when it comes to things like that, but we take Dyson's Quetzal here with the high weight stat, and we'll pick up Metallica, and then fly over there with all of those guys and bring back tons and tons of metal. So that's the way we do it here. One other thing I'll show you, and you'll notice it does rain constantly in this world, so it's not like scorched earth at all. We have a place down here, which this is where the generator is, and I wonder how much... okay, we're good on fuel, I guess. So this is where we store food. You notice we have that. We also have beer here, which you use to tame one of the animals that we have, actually. And this looks like the place where we actually store most of the eggs. So we have these beer barrels over here that probably have, yeah, if I threw some glasses in here, some glass jars, I'd be able to fill them up with that. But you put honey and thatch and something in there and water, and it works. This is where we're making jerky and all of that down here. But also you can see that the sun is starting to think about coming up, and we have this fog that comes through. So, you know, one of the things that ARK is famous for is making it so that you can't see to be able to play the game. That's one of the things that they give us, is the fog to keep us from being able to see. We do have some hyenodon here too, and they do the same thing they do on the other world, except for the eggs. Here they just guard the meat. So Jonathan, Megatribe PvP. Yeah, we've spent some time early on the community servers, and then, you know, just was more interested in PvE and being able to play on our own. We did have some PvP incidents, right? Because we used to play with it open, with the world here open, and so people would hop on our world. And then actually, at one point, I'll show you, a YouTuber hopped on, who his thing was going on and griefing people's worlds. And so he hopped on this world, then tried to grief, and he was popcorning the vaults we have over there. And what that means is throwing everything out one at a time. And what that means is that the stuff will despawn very quickly, and it's very difficult to pick it back up. But he lives in here now. So this is what happened to him. That's his little guy there, and he will stay here forever. So that's what happens when you when you come on. It took us, you know, just a few minutes to get him out and put him there. So we built that little room for him, so he gets to live there for, you know, ever. So that's the only PvE we've had here. When we were taming Larry, the Giga, we did have a couple guys hop on. The way we found out is we're trying to trank him, and they're like, kill the Giga in the chat. And so we're like, what? And then there was another guy who hopped on and spawned in like right next to me, and it kind of startled me. And so I pulled my sword out, and he was like, no, team up. And I felt really bad because I'd already hit him and killed his character because the sword was really good. And then there was this other person we never saw them, but we found a tamed Dilophosaurus, I think, either that or a raptor, down at the beach, and it was named Doom's pet. So apparently somebody named Doom was on at some point. And then there was this person who came on, I guess, a number of times, and they had made their own little hut and everything over by the ocean over there, and we found that one day as well. So yeah, then eventually, you know, after the griefer came on, we decided, okay, well, let's just make sure we put these on private matches so we don't have to deal with any of that, because that's not really the reason that we play. It's, you know, not for that. And actually on this server we do it as a PvE, so PvP is turned off on here, which is not to say that PvP is not fun sometimes. We've spent a lot of time doing that stuff. Yeah, I hope he got video of it and put it out there, but we tracked down the name and saw his channel, and it was just all about doing what he was trying to do here. It just didn't work. When he spawned in once again right next to me, and because he did it twice, and I was in that over there breeding wolves, and so he died pretty quickly. And then I went out and was getting some stone or something outside the gates, and when I came back in, it was popcorning stuff, so he had come back. Okay, so here are some guys. We have some raptors here. I believe these guys, yeah, they're higher level, a 116 and a 108, but you can see also some of the guys here will have interesting colors that came up during certain events. Terrorbird. This guy, this is all natural coloring, and I think he was during a 4th of July event. So we're like, okay, well, how can you not tame something that looks like that? We have over here another Gallimimus. He was naturally red. More horses, and then I was flying along one day. I forget what I was looking for, but I saw a white horse, and I'm like, that's very, very white, and ended up being a unicorn. And I believe, yeah, Nelly was a 104, which is a high level on this server, because at the time it just went up to 120. And so Nelly is here, and this is Unicorn Guard. And so Unicorn Guard has 10,000 health and 1200 melee, and is set to neutral, so anything attacks Nelly, and Unicorn Guard will take care of that. I think this guy's name is Ladybug or something like that. You can see why. But once again, this was during a color event, and this is the one that we had to use beer to tame up. It's a really funny looking creature, but you know, they're pretty cool. And this one was colored blue, so I believe we named it Blueberry. And then when the tech stuff started coming out, yeah, Prime Star Doom. So we were like, oh, we need to get some tech creatures. And I don't believe we ever found any good levels. Let's see, this one was a 96, and this was a 120. So this one was a perfect tame. On the Rexes, I know we weren't anywhere near as lucky, but we'll go up there in a sec. So, Rexes. There's another sniper tower up here, and this is the Rex army. It has gone through some incarnations, and you'll notice that something different about these guys is rather than names, they have numbers, which are painted onto them. So that would be number 3 right there, number 4. So these guys are actually old. That one was Junior, I think. Oh, that's Junior, and this is J. What was the J for? Jeff. Right. So these must have been guys that at some point were the the alpha of the Rexes. So the ones that we use to breed up. Let's see, over here, 24 and 25, 21, 23, 19, 22. Number 7, 12, 27. So now you're seeing kind of how many we've actually bred up and raised fully. Yeah, and here you'll see why Rex eggs aren't a problem for us. These guys are guarding them. These guys are all on passive, so they won't attack anything, because if they weren't and something flew over and attacked, then putting these guys all back where they're supposed to be is just a disaster. These are the tech Rexes. They are not very good at all, but we thought they were really cool when they first came out. And then what you'll see is we have a little office thing here, and getting your dinos to the obelisks, the towers, to go fight the bosses is a huge pain. And so, you know, we didn't have cryopods, so we couldn't just carry them there. And so the game itself is not very good when it comes to dinosaur movement AI. Thanks, Sabrina. That's cool. Dyson thinks our Rex breeding program is toxic. She's probably right. Sabrina, have a good night. Thanks for joining, and thanks for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. And so we're like, okay, it would take an hour to get over to that an hour, a frustrating hour to get over to that other tower over there with the 20 Rexes that you want to take in to fight the boss, right? So we happen to be right next to the green, and so we made a bridge over this, and we're able to just walk them down to the obelisk, get them all situated very easily. So something that would take ages and ages, and then you have to bring them back and all of that stuff, takes just a few minutes to line them up, at least there. And now that we have cryopods, we can move them around much more easily. And that's some of what we're going to be doing. Is we do have some caves to finish here, and then we want to we've already beaten the brood mother a number of times, which is one of the bosses. It's like the first boss. And we're going to want to beat the brood mother a few more times and beat the alpha. And then we want to fight the other bosses as well at Blue Tower over there behind the volcano, and Red Tower down there, which is near the water. And so when we do that, then up at the volcano, there's a tech cave that is where you fight the Overseer, and that's how you ascend in this game. So that's kind of the end game thing. And so we're going to get all of that done. And so let's see. That is the short version. So let's talk about, and if you're wondering, yeah, up there, this thing, that's a broodmother trophy. So that's what she looks like, except she's basically a giant, horrible spider-looking thing. In here, in the castle, we do have a snail that produces stuff for us. We do have a dung beetle. And you'll notice a few artifacts in here giving light. This is where the otters live. And the funny thing is that we made this place before we became obsessed with otters. And, you know, since otters can wear hats in the game, kind of like Jerboa, of course, they're all wearing hats. And so this kind of comes to what I was talking about at the beginning, where, you know, we've been watching these Japanese otter channels and everything for the past couple of years, I guess now. And there was a litter of otters that was born about 3.5 months ago with one of them. And wonderful people over there. And the Asian small claw otter is actually an endangered species. And so it's funny, all of the adult otters have their registration papers with their pictures on them. So they have a headshot on there of themselves. And let's see. I'm just going to put this egg in here for now. Eggs get heavy. And one of the babies was born with a cleft lip and palate, which is something that I don't think they'd ever seen in the Asian small claw before. And so obviously its chances of survival were like none. And the mother otter had 5 babies in that litter, and when this one was born, she tried to get it to nurse and it wouldn't, and because it couldn't, and so she just basically hugged it and was going to, you know, just comfort it, and it would die because she knew that it couldn't survive. And so the people who have an otter cafe in Japan, and a lot of other of these Asian small-clawed otters, they're really cool and really good people. They took it and they were bottle feeding and all of that, which once again was really hard because it couldn't really eat. But they worked on it and they got it to gain weight, and it survived. And so we've been watching this otter for the past 3.5 months, and they've been waiting for it to get big enough to have the surgery to fix this. And because the anesthetic, the anesthesia, it wouldn't be able to survive that, you know. And they're like, when it weighs 1 kilogram, then it'll be, you know, big enough to be able to withstand that. And so the funny thing about this otter, who they named Love, is this little otter that was smaller and had all of these problems did everything first. Opened its eyes first, went in the water first, did like everything, and it was naughty, and it was seemingly doing really well. But once again, they had to bottle feed it all the time, and it, you know, it had trouble gaining weight. But they actually announced a couple weeks ago that Love had passed away, and that it was sudden, and so they've been offline for the last 2 or 3 weeks or so. And today they put a video out that was telling what happened, right? And we had pretty much guessed, but so with the cleft lip and palate, it was really bad, and the otter wouldn't be able to survive, right? Because they can choke, they can get pneumonia and all of that very easily, and so they had to have this surgery. And they did take her in. They had gotten her up to 1.3 kilos, and they were worried because it was so bad and took her in to have the surgery. They did the surgery, and unfortunately, when they brought her back, her breathing had problems, and that's how Love passed away. And so they put this video out that must have been the most difficult thing to do for them, and because of how much they care about their animals. And they had her there, and they were letting the other otters see what had happened, you know, that she was passed away and all of that. And it was a very somber thing. And so, you know, our family, and Dyson, Butterman and I were there watching this, and you know, it was painful when we first learned that Love had died, but watching this, you know, it was there was some catharsis there from seeing what had happened, but also, you know, it was a really tragic thing. And you know, we did get to experience this amazing little creature online for 3 months though, and that's something that wouldn't have happened without these people taking care of her and helping her to grow. So because of that, we do have otters on this world. I wanted to try to go find another otter, and they are around. So what I think we'll do, and it's ironic that yesterday was actually World Otter Day. Oh, I guess I haven't actually shown you guys the wolves, have I? So here we have some Dimorphodons. So these guys are set to attack things that come by. And this is the doghouse, and you can see that Snoopy's in here. I did have Snoopy and Woodstock. This probably was my first dog. This, I believe, is Yeah, Callie, which is the name of one of our Labradors. We have others over here. Sir Chewington, this I believe was Butterman's. And Wolfface. And that's definitely Butterman's. Freya. So there we go. Let's see. Am I thirsty or hungry? I am thirsty and have no water here. So, yeah. Before I die, I'm going to have to go and get that. So, we obviously have places for a lot more wolves. And had put this together like this because, once again, no cryopods, right? And so we have other guys down here. I don't think we have very many of them. But all set up for more wolves. So we'll probably at some point breed up some wolves just to fill things in before we complete this world and ascend from here. So hopefully this little tour has been at least interesting, or told you something about, you know, what the world has been like here and where we started. And now I have to remember where the water faucet is. I believe it's over here. Yeah. So maybe I should get another canteen. Well, I'm going to be in the water, so I don't think it matters. And 19 food should be enough. Okay. So we're going to take Neo. Yes, and Nanny. And Nanny was there as well. So let's see. We've got lots of guys running around down here. What is Neo's? Yeah, Neo has good stamina. So over here, if you see this mountain right back there, behind these things, that's where we get all the metal and the crystal and stuff like that. This is a swamp, which is an amazingly dangerous place. Funny enough, we had a Tapahara that I forget what its name used to be, but it eventually got renamed to Rage Monster because it went and attacked something and left me stranded, and our original base was way over there down. And so Butterman had to come and get me, and we couldn't find that Tapahara for the longest time, and then we did. Looks like something's going on here, but this place is full of all sorts of bad things. But I don't believe otters are here. I believe they are up farther this way, though. And we'll see how that goes. So you can see there are baryonyx down there. And this, by the way, will take us in the direction of our other bases as well. We have a winter base, then we have another base over on the coast above some of the caves. And so you can see it's definitely a lot different than Scorched Earth here. You know, a lot of different types of dinos and everything, but this is where things started. And one of these redwoods has a platform that we put on it and a tree tap to get sap. So, like I said, we spent a long time here looking for stuff. There are some beavers. I'll just want to look for some otters. You can usually see them squirting around, and you can see all the fish down there as well. Thing about taming otters is it's not, you don't knock them out and stuff. What is that? Is that one? It's hard to tell. You actually have to get fish for them. So let's see, I should probably take these guys out. I don't remember how much damage Neo does. I know it's a lot. But once again, he was a just a normal tame. He wasn't anything that was bred up. And he was very hard to get because he kept flying away. Like I said, we don't really use traps or anything like that. And once again, this world, in a lot of ways, it's a little more dangerous because you always have little guys coming after you. Like these compies. I'll just take care of this. And great. Just in time for the fog to roll in. Let's see, is that a... There's a piranha. Let me see. Hey Zenron, how you doing? I am looking for otters. And we want to get a new otter and name it after one that, a baby one that just passed away. So, there's an iguanodon. This place over here, we actually have some tame dinos out in the wild. I think you heard Butterman talking on one of the Scorched Earth streams about setting the dinos to aggressive and putting them out in the wild. We have some set like that over here. It's some raptors, I believe, that run around here. I believe we have transponders on them, actually. And I think it's Death Machine and something else that run around here just killing things. And occasionally we run into them. So thanks for joining, Zenron. And let's see, there's a Spino. I'm not going to be able to see anything in this fog. So I think what we'll do is fly on over. And one of the things you have to watch out here is that going by the redwoods, Thylacolea will jump out of the trees and land on you. Take you off your bird, and also if you're down on the ground, Perlovia will come out after you. So that's something that, yeah, those guys exist on Scorched Earth, but they don't act the same. They're not as dangerous at all. So I think I'll land here to get some stamina back. Hi, Edris. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. We're just on a quest to find some otters. But, of course, the the island has fog. So, it is a fairly big place. So, you know, we'll go through quite a bit of landscape, going over to where we have our other bases. I'm doing pretty well, Edris. Had a good day and had a great week. And so looking forward to hanging out, doing this stream and hanging out with the kids this week as well. Dyson has agreed to help me get the Darby Topknot Instagram set up. We're going to populate that at first with a bunch of D&D stuff. Just, you know, shots and description of different games that we've had over the years. So some campaigns there. I know at least one of the people, well, a few of the people in this stream right now have been involved in those games. So, you know, hopefully that'll bring back some nostalgic feelings for them. Okay, let's start looking over here. There's a Baryonyx. They are awesome. And I think I will actually just take a look and see. Not to get distracted, but I just want to see what level he is. 40. So, no thank you. Right over here is where I found the unicorn. Every time I fly by here, I'm just looking for... Oh, wow. So, here's something that you don't see on Scorched Earth. That is an Alpha Rex. Man, now I wish I had brought one of the Rexes. I don't... Can Neo take him? Yeah, Neo can take him. Okay, so this fight will take about 6 months, because Neo doesn't do a ton of damage. But, yeah, let's just gain up some stamina and go kill an alpha. These guys, so if you've seen us fight the Alpha Wyvern, this is basically the version of it here, or the Alpha Deathworm as well. So this should take a while. Fortunately, he's otherwise occupied. And this is a good way to get a lot of experience, but it's also a good way to get good items. Butterman used to have a lot of fun fighting these guys on foot. He'd come back with his armor all torn up, but he has a super pike that he'd use to take these dudes out. And I guess I probably should have looked to see what level he is before attacking him. Come back here. The trick is to attack the back end because the front end bites. And being that he's red, it's kind of hard to see, but I think he is getting bloody. Fortunately, Neo has really good stamina, so he can keep attacking for a long time. And he has a ton of health. There we go. And did he drop anything? Oh, okay, so now my bird should be full of prime meat. Yep. So if we look, we got the Alpha Rex trophy. Alpha Tyrannosaurus tooth, which is something that we need to get into some of the boss things. We got Apprentice Chitin leggings. Another Apprentice crossbow. And that's about it. Let's go ahead and get rid of these things. And then the trike bone helmet skin. I'm not sure how many of these we have, but I think we started throwing them away. We have so many. So, there we go. And let's go ahead and go back to looking for otters. You know, I think they are over here. I've never seen many over in this area, though. There's another Rex, but not an Alpha. And the way you can find them is you'll see them going into and out of the water, and they really do move differently than anything else that's in here. And they always say that the joke is that when you say something like, oh, today we're going to go tame an X, that they'll disappear from the map. And I think everybody that's played ARK has experienced that at some point or another. Let's see, and make sure you watch today's intro. Ask Susie, it's bomb. Thank you once again, Anne. So one of the funny things is when I put it together, I did it over one night and just a couple days ago, I think. And what I decided was I had to kind of, okay, what's that over there? Police myself so that I wouldn't go back into, okay, these are just beavers. So we want something that looks like that, but much smaller. So that I wouldn't go into full music production mode and get psycho over stuff. And so, you know, we're playing the it's good enough game rather than, you know, spending a ton of time to get that last 10% out of it. You know, listening back, I would mix it differently to do it again. But that doesn't matter. It gets the point across. And so I appreciate the kind words from everybody. Dyson actually, when she was 3, I think, had just turned 3 or something. She came down, and this was when we were living in Canada. She, I was working on a new album, and she looked at me and said, when are we going to do my music? And so I'm like, how How about right now? So she did her first 2 songs when she was 3. And that is... These are all fish. Which is younger than I was when I did mine. So that's pretty cool. And we're just going to gather some stamina real quick. You know, the place I've seen them the most in the past, it's always been... and here's where we actually wish we had wyverns on this world, because they're so much faster. We used to feel like the RGs were fast, but they're not. They're really, really slow. This is the swamp. Someplace in this swamp, there is a raft that was me trying to get back after Rage Monster abandoned me, and I was in the swamp getting killed and everything, and it was just a disaster. And it was early on, right? So we didn't even know what we were doing. And like I said, I think that Butterman had to come and save me. ARK was really funny in the very early days. Because, like I've said before, nobody knew anything about it, right? Now people go and they'll watch tutorials on everything, and it'll just tell them what to do and how to do it and what something needs and what it doesn't need. And what is that guy? Is that a Diplocalus, I think they're called? But back then, nobody knew anything. And Wildcard was actually coming out with updates constantly. And so, you know, you would have really funny things happen. I remember the first time I ever saw an egg on the ground that a wild dino had laid. Butterman was doing something smart wherever he was. It was a place just south of where we live now, that main base. And so he was down there doing something. And so I was overlooking at stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's this big egg on the ground. And it was a Bronto egg. And so, of course, I didn't know that. And that is a gigantic fish. What size is that fish? Did that say 2.5? I don't think I've ever seen a fish that big. 2.5. Look at that thing. That would be perfect to feed to an otter. So if I could find an otter over here, that would be awesome. But I was going by and I saw that, and I'm like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this egg. So I pick up the egg, and the Brontos lose their minds and start coming after me. And so I start running, and I'm running by, and Butterman was standing there doing something. I don't know if he was trying to tame something or if he's gathering something, but I run by, and the Brontos shook their aggro off of me and started stomping him. And I'm running by. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. So, yeah, learning this game... Obviously, understand a bit if you're going to start playing it. It's an older game, but, you know, they do have Survival Ascended coming up, so the new remastered version of it coming up. My recommendation is learn the very basics through looking at things, you know, so you know what you're up against, and then learn everything else through just playing. It's so much more fun, and you'll come across so many more funny situations. There's a megalodon, if you see that giant shark down there. And let's see. We'll fly up here and see if there are any guys. It's another baryonyx. Okay, there's an egg. You want to see some turtles lose their mind? And I remember early on, I think things held aggro for much longer than they do now. Because I remember doing something to a turtle. I hit it or something like that and then ran away. And we went like miles away, and then eventually that turtle came up and caught up to us. And yeah, watch. See those guys? That turtle coming? That must have been their egg. I do have a problem with eggs. I pick them all up. And I think that comes from the need for kibble that we had in the past. I don't see any otters here. Can I catch that fish? Yes. A couple different ways. Oh, look at that. That ichthyornis just took that fish out. You can fish. It's a terrible game mechanic, so we don't do that. The other thing I can do is, you can't tame the fish, but you can go and smack it and kill it. And what I need to do to tame up the otter will be to kill a fish and take the fish to the otter. And so that's let's see. I think right over this is where I've seen most of them. If it's the place I think it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's another stream right over here. Once again, I wanted to say thanks to everybody for joining. This is something that we've found to be really fun. And, you know, we come on, just do impromptu stuff. You'll see games other than ARK moving forward. And including stuff like D&D. I think one of the next things we'll be doing is Minecraft as well. We'll do a little bit of a history on our Minecraft things, and then when the new version drops, we're going to set up a new SMP and have Dyson and Butterman on there. Maybe some other people, not sure. And I do not see any... Oh, there. There's an otter. Okay, let's go ahead and land here. Okay, I'm going to... My finger slipped. My finger didn't slip, that was just a bad shot. I have to get used to this again. There we go. Okay, so everybody's running from something. Okay, there's a raptor over there. Oh, that bird's gonna kill you, dude. Okay, let's see. There we go. I think I need to put you on passive. Bad thing about flying mounts is that they will take off on you. And so let's go ahead and see. Okay, here's an otter. There we go. Hopefully it's female. Female otter. So... yeah, something is out there bugging everybody. So I'm going to take my sword in here and see what we're dealing with fish-wise. I think I will get this salmon. That is a big salmon. Yes, the sword does do a lot of damage. And we will drag the body. So... now, what I have to do is drag this body over to where the otter is, and then feed it to the otter. Hello, Parasaur. And I'm happy to see that it's getting dark just in time for me to be wandering around off my mount. Let's see. In the chat, tell me if you see the otter. I'm gonna hop into this mode so that I can see past this thing. So it was hanging around right over there. Is it on the other side? Okay, does anybody see the otter? Chat, help me out. What is that? Okay, something's attacking Neo. Okay, so I'm gonna have to drop that. And... Sorry, Mr. Parasaur, you got in the way. Okay, what have we got? There's my fish. Where'd my bird go? Neo? Come on, man. Can I make it daytime again? Wait for night to be over. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? Missed that guy, apparently. I'm just gonna clear some of this out. Okay, that guy's not a danger. Okay. Let's see if I can find its little marker. I mean, I could gamma up, but that kind of defeats the purpose, right? I don't think they usually wander very far. Is that it? No, that looks like a Nyctiornis. Oh, it's a Hesperornis. Okay. That sound is a dodo. Level 104. Not bad. Yeah, and I'm cold. I'll bet. So tell me if you guys see a little female otter wandering around here anywhere. Is that a fish? Let's hop up here. So I have to breathe. There's a coelacanth, which is a fish. Rip otter. Did it die? Did you see that? So we have a fish body here. Okay, wait. Saber-toothed salmon. What's this guy? Saber-toothed salmon. Dilophosaur. Let's check my... No pelt, so I didn't hit it. Yeah, I don't see him either. Let's hop up on Neo and see if we can get a better look. What does that sound? Oh, I thought that was a Dilophosaur. It was an Oviraptor. Now I feel bad. Wouldn't expect it to be very far from where it was. Okay, you see those yellow lights in there? Those are the eyes of those Troodon that I was talking about. So, if I was wandering around out here on my own, they would be knocking me out right now. Let's see, did I get them all? Nope. Something over there. I remember when they added those to the game, and we didn't know what they did. I mean, we knew that they had kind of a tranquilizer effect, but we didn't realize that it was super powerful on humans, and I got knocked out by a little pack of them. Well, we found an otter, Susie, and then it got dark. I found a fish for it. I was pulling the fish over, and the sun went down. So it got dark, so we can't see the otter anymore. But there is one around here someplace, unless something has killed it. And it's a little female, 36 level, I think. And we have a fish for it right here. So we're just let's see, that was hide and raw meat. That's raw meat and hide. But yeah, so I got attacked by a pack of them, and I had a really good set of armor on, so it knocked me out, and they literally spent the next 20 minutes plus pounding on my dude and knocking me out. This is dangerous at night. Yes, it is. I don't remember if Butterman got there in time to save me, but I know that they couldn't really hurt my dude. They could knock me out, but they couldn't hurt him because of the chest piece I was wearing. And so they kept breaking, and finally I believe they broke my chest plate, and so it just took a long time for them to kill me. Let's see. Okay. I don't believe... Yeah, there's no pelt, so... if it did die, then it wasn't me. But, okay. Let's see. Neo, what are you doing, man? So yeah, this does get dangerous at night. And now it's super dark. So nighttime is basically something much like the fog and much like the dust storms on Scorched Earth that says, okay, well, we're going to stop playing the game for a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... it shouldn't be long. I think usually it's like day-night cycle is something like 10 minutes or something like that, 10 of each. So it shouldn't take long at all for it to become day again. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pick up some of these drops in the meantime. Yes, and it's raining. It's a lot like Canada. I get to say that because I lived there for 12 years and I'm from Southern California, so... Yeah, we'll just wait a second to make sure that nothing's going to come and eat my dude. And unlike the other world, we don't actually pick up that type of stuff on this one because those materials are not an issue to get. It is so dark. Yeah, that's right. It is like Canada. So... let me see. I'm gonna actually check something. Maybe we will just gamma up. Let me see. I believe there are some key commands too. Set gamma value G and shift G. Okay. So, yeah, it doesn't really help in this situation. Gamma is basically you change the gamma settings of the game, which you can make it lighter or darker and things like that. Basically, it gives you a really washed out view though. So I apologize for this interlude while we wait for ARK to come back to life. I really don't remember it being this dark though. I think we mainly spent the nights working on stuff over at the base in the past though. Yeah, this is what Weefy looks like at night on ARK. So, now we do happen to be in a rainstorm, so the clouds are obscuring the stars and the moon and stuff. What's my favorite game? This one is good. I enjoy Minecraft if you're talking video games. The Elder Scrolls stuff, I never played Skyrim or anything, but it started with, you know, Elder Scrolls with their first game, Arena. And those were a lot of fun. Arena and Daggerfall and all of those. We used to play a game called MechWarrior 2, which was cool. So there are those. And actually on the PlayStation 2, I remember I got a PlayStation 2 back in the music days strictly because it had a cool hockey game on it. And so that was something that we played as well. Let's see. Okay, of course it's in the swamp. So what's going to happen is everything is going to come out here and try to get me now. But if I stay near this, then there's more light so that at least you can see a little bit more about what's going on. And I'm gonna get this guy because we don't want to attract any, oh, is that in the water? Huh. Wonder if that was a leech. But we'll be here. You can see that it's starting to lighten up a little bit in the sky. But, yeah, those, as far as video games, I mean, those are the ones that I played the most recently. Then I guess there's Factorio, which I think we may do some streaming of with the Butterman. Of course, TTRPGs. So D&D, if you hear about the original DM's Guide and the Red Box and all of these things, so I started playing back in those days. So I've been playing a long time. And, you know, so when Butterman and Dyson were old enough, just a Gallimimus, I taught them to play, starting with first edition. And then so we did a campaign in first edition and then did a follow-up campaign in fifth edition and some more playing on fifth edition as well. And so we've had kind of an ad hoc 5th edition campaign that is going to... There we go. We're going to be ending soon because timing and all. And looks like we are starting to get some daylight. And so we will take off and try to find the place where we were. Okay, so that is going to be... That's where we were down here. Yeah, we were over here. So we're going to be finishing that out, I believe, and then Other games, like, I mean, we played just about everything you could name, and probably a bunch you couldn't, you know, like Traveler, and even things like Car Wars, and what were some others? Gamma World, Paranoia, and a game called Champions, which I'd actually like to stream as well. It's a superhero role-playing game, and we have an interesting take on it that I think we want to try, which is, yeah, let's go up here. I think we were over this ridge here. And, you know, so to have like a cyberpunk environment for it. No, I think the Otter's on this side, Ann. And yeah, Edris, D&D is probably the best game, period, as far as the experience you can have playing it. And it's just because of the connection you have with the people playing with you, right? It's funny because as you go through it, some of the psychology behind the game itself has to do with the way you remember things. So when you are going through these different adventures and all of that, and you're role-playing and you're going through and your dudes are doing things and all of this stuff, you actually don't remember it as having played a game. What you remember it as if it were a normal memory, right? So like a real memory of yours. And so rather than, oh, you remember when our characters did this and this and this and etc., the way that your mind actually remembers it is that in the first person. So you end up, do you remember when we found that dragon and, you know, did XYZ and so did this, and, you know, we were able to beat the bad guy at the end, right? And that's the way you experience it. And so it becomes something that's experienced on a really, really personal level between the people who play in the campaign. And so if you play a campaign that goes on a year and a half or 2 years, that's something that can create a powerful bond, and unlike any other game. So it's something that if you haven't played it, find a good group and try it. I couldn't... Let's see. There's a Spino. Is this where we were? There's a Sarco. So this is a... this is a tough area here. But I kind of feel like we were right over here. Were we? What is swimming? That's a Hesperornis. So are these guys. I remember there being 2 shores, but find a good group of people who want to play that game cooperatively and have a try at it. And like I said, we'll be posting on the Instagram some, you know, just like shots of the boards and everything from when we've played some of these things, and we'll talk a little bit about what was happening in the campaign and all. And maybe it was over here more, because I know we flew quite a ways to get to that. You know what? I'm gonna go up this way to get over to that green drop. But we'll have that on there. We'll talk a little bit about what was happening in the campaigns, because these campaigns, there's a continuity between them that goes back decades. And, you know, so there are... Let's see. There are things that happened when my friends and I played when we were little that influenced things that I got to... Oh, is that him? Okay, Hesperornis. I think we may have been right up here. Yep, this looks like the place. And there's the fish. Cool. that influenced the way that I was able to go through and have campaigns happen with Dyson and Butterman and all of their friends as well. So, you know, if you can find a good group and all of that, it's the best game that anyone ever made. You can also find bad groups. So, you know, and I believe that's our little otter. And so be quick at identifying them and find people that want to play cooperatively. That's my biggest advice with D&D. You know, we have rules in our campaigns that we've put in place after years of experience. You know, yeah, that's her. Okay, let's see. You know what? I'm gonna just go get that fish that we had for her last time. Okay, so she's right down there, and our fish is right over here. You know what? There's a monkey. I'm gonna clear this dude out. And that guy. And let's see. Oh, is that her? That's a female otter level 8. I think ours was... Is that the fish, or... Kind of thought there was a bigger fish that we had. I know there were 2. And... oh, just so you know what this actually looks like. Yeah, it's pretty silly. So... I don't know if that's the way you guys fish, but that's how we do it in the big city. Oh, there she is. So I need to go up to her and try to feed this to her without having anything come and attack me or her. Come here. Excuse me, miss. Where is she? There she is. Feed fish. There we go. And so this little otter will be named Love. And like I said, okay, well, we're gonna take care of the aggression settings right now. Passive, and I should have made a cryopod. And following me. Good. So she's absolutely a faster swimmer than I am. And once again, for those who joined later, there's a little Asian small-clawed otter that we've been watching who was born with a cleft lip and palate and had surgery to get it fixed and unfortunately passed away. And so yesterday being National Otter Day, we decided to do this in honor of her. So her name was Love, and so we are taming up this little... Oh, I really feel like getting the other one too. But I will get Love some fish. There we go. And now we will hop on Neil and take Love back home. So, yeah, and it's funny, these otters, yay, yeah. There it is. Yeah. It was something that had a lot of sadness to it and was an emotional thing, but that little otter got to live for 3 months that it, you know, didn't have on its own. And you would be amazed at the outpouring of emotion from all over the world that were on these videos and everything. And so Oh, thanks, Edris. Thanks for the birthday wishes. And so, you know, it's such a small creature who was very short-lived for this world, didn't get to... It got to do a lot of things and be an otter, but, you know, didn't live anywhere near as long as it should have. Got that borrowed time and was able to actually have an impact on a lot of people emotionally. So, you know, that's a pretty powerful statement, I think, and I think that that's something that kind of brings out the best in us as humans, to be able to share those types of feelings and everything. And so, happy World Otter Day, everybody. And we're gonna go and put love in the otter castle with the other otters, and we will then find her the right hat. And I'm whoa, something's knocking stuff down. That Bronto, I guess. So yeah, I'll drop her over by this part of the base, and I think we have a vault with a bunch of different hats and stuff in it here as well. Okay. So, hello there. Everybody lost their minds when they put otters in the game. Almost as much as they did with jerboas. And we'll put him in there because otters are, like a lot of other things, shoulder pets. Let's see. What do we have? Santa cap. Okay, let's have a little vote here. A witch hat, Uncle Sam hat, Santa hat, safari hat. What do you think, chat? What's that? Oh, Giganotosaurus. There's some artifacts in here. Safari hat. One vote for safari hat. Beanie with a propeller. We don't have one of those, sorry. Otterman might actually have one. Santa, witch, safari hat. Okay, so we finally have two people saying the same thing. So we will take this safari hat and, let's see, I believe to put it on... I believe it's like jerboa. You can't just put it on there. Yeah, I'll have to go find Love a helmet to wear. And so we want this to be safe and sound. Let's see, where's a good helmet? 182 armor. See if we have anything better. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so 182 it is. Let me go ahead and put this stolen egg away. And so we take that skin, put it on top of... Am I missing? Oh, there it is. There we go. And we will level up health. And so there she is. This is our new otter, Love. And I wonder if we can actually paint that hat. Let's find out. What would be a good color to try? Okay, cool. Yeah, we can paint this. Okay, chat, I need some color suggestions from what you see over here. Can you bake the otter? Yes, we can name the otters. I named that one Love, after the one that died. And it's, if you... She has a big brother who is getting ready, I think, this month to turn 1. And so he was the litter before, and his name is Tororo. And somebody in the US, I believe, made a book about him to help pay for the surgery for her. And so we were fortunate enough to get one of those. It's called Tororo's Big Day. So if you take a look at Lautra, I think is the name of the YouTube channel, they'll have a thing on it. And I would suggest you guys... Okay, so what do we have? We have teal, we have magenta, hot pink. And so go ahead and check out that channel. You will get hooked on these guys very quickly. So here's magenta. Here's a pink. Okay, and you know what? Yeah, and that's right. So if you take a look at Anne's thing, so let's try this magenta here and see. Okay, so how about if we go with this here, and let's see. Hot pink with the black on there, black on here, and then we can do pink as a buckle. How's that? Let's go ahead and put it on her and see how that looks. Yeah, and it is a wonderful feel-good channel. I guess one day it just showed up in Butterman's feed. And we will go ahead and level her up again. Much better. So, what do you guys think? Alright, so let's go ahead and we will pick her up, stand, and this is the way you carry otters. So, there we go. And what they do in-game is they actually keep your body heat regulated, right? So you don't get too hot, and I don't believe you get too cold either. So, yeah, you remember what we said about Rex eggs? Yeah. That it's not something to worry about, and why we pretty much throw them all in here for the snake to eat. That's why. And I think I can... Yeah, I think I can walk through here. So we're going to go add love. And then I will leave it to a vote. We can go and... There we go. So now Love has joined the rest of her family. Yeah. So I just thought that would be cute. And as far as names go, that's Daisy. This is Carnation, Tulip, seeing the pattern, Petunia, Poppy, Charcoal, and Love. Oops. There we go. Yeah, that spotlight was... That thing is, like, seriously, the Rhinognathia, they are positioning that thing as the Sky Giga. So it'll be really interesting to see what that's like in practice and all of that. That should be a good animal to add for the last thing. It makes me glad that we have turrets here to take things out of the sky. So, quick vote. We can either call it a night, or we can go ahead and just do a very quick flyover to the other bases and show you what we have there. we can leave that for another day. So I know we're a little bit past the amount of time we usually do on these, but yeah, I think, you know what? I think maybe I want to do this first. So Edris says we should fly. Let me do this real quick. So going to come over here. Okay, cool. And maybe we will take that off. There we go. Okay, just wanted to get a nice shot with Love there. And we'll go put her back. By the way, there is a sub floor here. So there's stuff underneath here. This guy sometimes gets in there. I don't know how. As does that guy. So I think that they spawn in before the building spawns in or something. When it loads sometimes. So let's see. This is fun. Fly. Encore. You guys are so sweet. Okay. So what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to hop on somebody a little bit. Well, actually, I did say that I would show you the difference between the dinos on this world and the dinos on the other world. So this is, what is his name? Marty. All right, you can tell because of the M. So we're going to come down here, and I'm sure you guys have seen us run around and fight things with the Rexes we have on Scorched Earth. Here's what happens, and we haven't had many mutations, but we were able to find better ones to start with. So this is kind of the way these guys work. Let's see. So you can see that they do a significant amount of damage. So a lot more than the ones that we have on the other world. We'll show you on this Parasaur here. So Marty does almost 2,000 damage just from a normal bite. And he also has 42,000 health. So that's much different than what we have on Scorched Earth. But the bosses here are tougher, and so we need that. Let's go ahead and get back in here. Close the gate, and I think I'm gonna take one of the hey Butterman, are the Tapahara faster than the Pteranodons?
If you are dashing with the Pteranodon, you should be able to outspeed the Tapahara, but the Tapahara is probably
overall faster. Okay. So we're going to take a Tapahara, which is going to be faster than the RG we've been on. So it won't take us 6 hours to get over to the other side of the island this time. And here we go. Let's see. Got food. We have parachutes. There we go. So we've been looking for one of these guys on... Yeah, the hat. It's cool. We've been looking for one of these guys on Scorched Earth forever. And we just want a good one, and there are no good ones. There was one. We did find a 120, and a rock golem promptly smashed it with a rock as we were trying to... I think I got it knocked out. No, I got it bowled and was going to knock it out, and then a rock golem came over, threw a rock, and it happened to hit it, and that was the end of that. So, not as easy. So, as here, you have many, many more of them here. So here we go. We are flying once again over the expanse of the swamp, which is a really dangerous place. I can't stress that enough. You can get leeches on you. This is where we get our metal and the crystal and all that. There are tons of metal nodes over here as well that we use. There's the redwood forest, and that's where the Thylacoleo jump off the trees and land on your dude and pull you off your bird. And I remember when they put microraptors in the game. And the way I found out about microraptors is I was flying along on my RG, going past a cliff, and then I see something fly in front of my guy. And it was a microraptor trying to jump off a cliff onto my dude to pull him off his bird, which would have killed Weefy. But yeah, so that's why we don't fly too close to... Oh, that's a good drop, though. And it disappeared. Probably all for the better. So, I think this guy has reasonable stamina, but I just want to pull the HUD back up so that I can make sure I don't run out. But we don't fly too close to the redwoods because you'll see sometimes that the Thylas are on there and they're sitting there waiting for somebody to fly by. One of the things that really struck us when the game first came out was how good it looked, right? It was beautiful, and it's like, oh man, the work that they did on the models and all of that stuff was pretty amazing, especially at the time. And now with the remaster they're doing for Unreal Engine 5 for Ark Survival Ascended, which is that follow-up, I think it's going to be incredible what they'll probably be able to get out of the way it looks and hopefully feels. So going back to what we were talking about a minute ago, how many of you guys in chat have played D&D or another TTRPG? Oh, there's a Quetzal. Where are you? Level 16. That's another creature that's very difficult to find a high level one of. You played something with wizards, but can't remember the name. Yeah. So here, how about if we do some trivia? Has anybody ever heard of a game called Arduin? Aside from Butterman and Dyson. Yeah, Susie. I think we're going to actually start like some little mini campaigns for D&D as well moving forward. Just like little contained things to see if anybody wants to start up a campaign to follow up on what we've done in the past. So Arduin was if D&D was on steroids and evil and wanted to kill the players all the time, every day. That was Arduin back in the day. I think it came out in 1977. I actually had the 3 books. Obviously not when it first came out, but the 3 books of it. And so we played that as well. And in one of these last campaigns, the flagpole monster of Arduin. Like some people think that for D&D it's the Beholder or the Mind Flayer or, you know, sometimes even the Dragon for D&D. But the, you know, kind of that tent post one for the for Arduin was called the Fraint. And I brought those into D&D, and part of the last campaign we did, there was a portal that had been opened. And there's a lot of lore behind why and how it happened and who did it and all of that the characters had to go through and figure out, but had opened between the worlds and led to a lot of the things. But those creatures came over. They're like giant, and here you go. Here you see our little fishing shack. I saw the first D&D movie back in the day, and we thought that it was so bad that it was acceptable, if that makes any sense. But the newer one, no, I haven't seen it at all. I've heard good and bad about it. But, you know, my take has always been, if you have a good movie, then that's all that matters, right? Just do a great job at whatever you're going to do. So haven't seen it. Probably will at some point. Let's see, let me try to... As you can see, we often build things. I think I talked about this before. And then you go, okay, well, what am I going to put in this giant empty room? Sometimes the answer is nothing. Here's Rage Monster that I talked about. He abandoned me. And I forget what your name used to be, but after that, he was named Rage Monster. But yeah, we'll probably see that movie at some time in the future, maybe when it's on streaming or something. But these are the baryonyx. So this blue and white is Butterman's. Number 2 is mine. And they are, like I said, one of my 2 favorite creatures to go around on. Because they can do this. They do that spin move, and what it does is it stuns things so that they can continue to attack. And the other part is they have no oxygen stat, so they can stay underwater forever. This particular one, okay, there we go. There's a megalodon over there. Looks like a few megalodon. So let me actually surface before I die from drowning. Here we go. So, there's a megalodon, and now he's fish. Meat, let's see. So, the ocean on this is a pretty dangerous place. It's full of, like, jellyfish and stuff like that. So, what you do with these guys is you come up, and then you stun them so they can't attack you, and then you finish the job. And that's pretty much the way that goes. But these guys are good on land, and that's what drowning sounds like, by the way. And they are also good in the water. So, and they can jump, which is always a plus. And we'll get this Pteranodon. So, one of my favorite guys, and you can notice they move around a lot better than the T-Rexes do, and you can't get the same type of horsepower out of their attacks. But if you have the right one, you can kill just about anything, and you can take them into most of the caves. And that's a big deal, because caves are a dangerous place, and these guys are awesome for doing them. So, there's a megalodon tooth that I will take. That's another one of the tributes that you use to get into the bosses. So, this is that. We have just some things over here for making things we might need for caving. Because a lot of the water caves are over here. And so that's our water base, and you notice we have some people there. Then over here, I'm going to fly up to the winter base. Yeah, fight the megalodon. We got him. So, let's see. One of the other things, like I said earlier, I want to put on this channel is champions, and the idea with that, it's a superhero role-playing game, and the idea we want to go with is to have it be a cyberpunk world, but like early cyberpunk, so that, you know, it's not going to be, you know, city upon city and all these flying cars and stuff. There might be hover cars. And like, if you think and go, okay, well, what would the first steps to move you into cyberpunk, which is basically characterized by high technology, low standard of living, what would those first steps look like? And have a world like that. And so the way we play that and have played it in the past is that it's a lot lighter than a lot of the other role-playing games. It's a lot as far as the mood, right? So you keep it fun, you keep it funny, and all of these things. And there's a Eutyrannus that I'm not going to go over to. And right now, if you see the ice cube in the lower right, And I believe that building there was used actually to tame Utyrannus. I really want that drop. The ice cube, what we'd say is I'm getting ice cubed. And that means that my dude's freezing enough that he'll start to lose health, which is why I should have brought my fur armor off of my RG. But here is our little cabin up here. And so we'll scoot down here. And so you see we have a fireplace to get warm with, just things to build stuff with. I don't even know what's in these things. Yeah, to repair your gear. And we'll actually do this. We did come up here sometimes to... There we go. To do like the northern caves and stuff like that. I look for specific monsters or dinos and all of that. And I'm just going to drop these here. So this is another place that we have out here. And you can see that it overlooks a place then. All of those black clumps there are oil. And that entire place over there is covered in Kairuku, which is a ancient kind of penguin. So we'll go hop back up. And fly back out of here. Yeah, this place used to be a pretty dangerous location when we first started the game. Let's see, where are the Kairuku? They should be around here. There are usually colonies of them hanging out on these. Oh, that's Elite Sixthius. Oh. Look at him. I don't think I've ever seen one of those stuck in a spot like this before. You want to see something freak out? Did you guys hear wolves? There we go. So you gonna come up here? Oh, he glitched through. So he was glitched. He is actually under this, and he was glitching through it. So he wasn't actually there. That's why we didn't do any damage to him. So he's on the other side of this particular thing. And let's see. We'll eat some stuff. So this is the blue tower. That's, I believe, where you fight the giant ape monster. Yeah. So these are our main things. We do have another base that we have down in the southern portion where we first started. And then, you know, once we made the big base over by Green Tower, we had to do a dinosaur train and take everybody along the coast. And anybody who's played this... Okay, Susie, thanks for joining, and thank you as well, Sprout. Have a great night, and thanks, Susie. Bye, and thanks for the birthday wishes once again. But if you've played this game, then you'll know what it's like to take 30 dinosaurs from one place to another. And it can be very frustrating, very funny, and take a long, long time because dinosaurs they're not good at walking around stuff. They try to go over it all the time, and it doesn't often work. So you can see I'm freezing, and my guy is starting to take damage, but that'll be okay. We'll be out of... there we go. Now I'll start to gain my health back. Dire wolves and stuff live over there, but that's where you fight the Megapithecus, I believe it is called. And I believe the dragon is over there, which is the third. It's either that or opposite, but I believe that's the places that they are. So we're going to need to finish out some caves here, get some more artifacts, and go and fight those guys. And then we'll be able to go up into the cave at the top of this volcano and fight the Overseer. Try to make it through the tech cave, which once you do that, you get to Ascend, which lets you go up to a higher level and gets you lots of cool stuff. So then, you know, that's the first part of the story done. And at the same time, on the Scorched Earth server, we're going to be going against the Manticore, which it's the same type of thing. So that's the boss on that. And I'm pretty sure we could pretty easily take the Gamma version of it currently. Maybe the Beta, but the Alpha, I think we need to get some tougher guys to take along with us. And we'll have to just keep working on that. And then we do have to go through another cave on that world as well and get that so that... And you know what? I'm actually going to stop over here because I don't think I'll make it the entire way back. And I don't want to stop in the Redwoods. But we'll be able to finish up that as well. And I think from there, we'll probably... Maybe ASA will be out then. And we'll be able to start a cluster server with that, which would be really cool. So that we have all the different worlds on the same server so we can go between them. Or, you know, if it's not, then we'll probably do like Ragnarok or a map like that, which is a map that basically has all the different biomes on it. And it's big, and it has a different feel than a lot of the stuff here and on Scorched Earth. So what are the games that you guys enjoy playing? Do you enjoy playing the TTRPGs, or do you enjoy video games better? Do you enjoy sports? What's the deal in your worlds? And I always thought it was funny how thin that sail is on these creatures. Living over at the green tower makes it super easy for us, because to go home you just point to the big green thing in the sky. And you'll notice we're staying very far above these trees so that we don't get punked. Have a Thyla come out and grab us. Depends on the day, but all three. Yeah, that's kind of like here. You know, we used to actually have weekly D&D games. And Butterman is actually working on playtesting his own RPG system right now, which... You know, we're able to participate in that, and it's a good system. It has a different feel than D&D, and some cool lore. I think it's a system that could be used to do other types of environments as well. So it's a D20 based system, but it has some different aspects that remind me of games from back in the day a lot as well. So that's fun. I know we have some game testing coming up. And like I said, we have what will probably be the final session of this campaign, this third campaign on this world that we're playing off and on right now. So that should be interesting. I'll make sure that we get stuff up, but at least on Instagram, about it and kind of what happened, because it actually touches on events from decades ago in real life. And here we go. We're pulling into this place now. We'll go find the hover pad. And I'll park here. And there we go. So cool. Looks like it's about to start getting dark again. So I'm gonna actually go jump over here. And we'll go up. Like I said, thanks a lot, everybody, for taking the time to join us today. I'm gonna go grab Love, and we'll go stand in this green light here. But thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the birthday messages and you guys, you know, taking the time out of your day to join us here. You know, it's something that we've found to be a lot of fun. And, oh, thanks, Dyson. And, you know, I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Share with your friends. Do all those YouTube-y things that make people get more subscribers and everything, because we want to do a 100. We did the 10 subscriber special, and we want to do a 100 subscriber special and do something really, really cool for that. But you know, once again, thanks for coming along for the ride, and I wish you all a fantastic weekend, and we'll be back soon. Probably the next time we stream, it will be a Minecraft review of the worlds that we have there before that new Minecraft version drops. And then I think we'll, on the 7th is when it drops, so we'll probably do a stream of that, starting up that new SMP, and that would be with Butterman and Dyson as well. And like I said, maybe other people, not sure. And, you know, then obviously we're going to keep the Scorched Earth thing going, and we'll work on stuff on the island from time to time. Like I said, there are some things that we need to do. And thanks, Edris, and thanks, Anne. I appreciate it. But for now, I just want to say I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening and a great weekend. And okay, bye for now.